Alrighty, so here in week 12 in the current fall 2025 semester, there's a couple things I want to cover before you jump into the graded part of this work. I'm really excited to have us start something completely different now. So we move from, and I'll talk a little about this in there, but we're moving from knowing how to get information out to how to create a database structure. And when we talk about database structure, and I don't think I mentioned this in here, like the skill level and the actual job itself is can be a higher positioning job, higher paying job. What you're going to get exposed to here gives you the introduction, but knowing how to normalize, standardize, build effective databases is really important. If this is something as we get into designing that is something that intrigues you, think about, right, that there is definitely a job, a database designer job out there. So consider that. Okay, so what I want to do in this first part, though, because we'll get into what in the course what you need to do, and I give you some heads up and just some of the other detail in the graded part of this. But I wanted to look at the calendar because. And I'm recording this in week 11, and of course this is week 12 as far as the actual current semester. But if we roll forward, and this will be good to see, right, as we roll in to so we're going to do a designing part 1 and 2. Okay, so and then we're going to do one problem set related to designing, and then we'll do writing part 1 and 2. So then we'll move from designing and then up how do you actually write data into databases. Okay, so of course in here will be the Thanksgiving holiday, and I will probably move this as well. I generally give this a little more time anyway, and then we'll move into, after our writing, the don't panic problem set. And so rolling forward, then you have the technical interview. Now, the reason I'm also here talking about the calendar is that, I'm now in technical interview, full-blown schedule. And really what that means is students have scheduled themselves for a technical interview. By the way, it's 25% of your grade. Okay, so you just consider that when you're looking at it. And I've already seen several, I think a handful of students for this class. So rolling over, if you want to see the schedule, go back to week right after week 9. I put it in there before week 10. But here is, like, you can already see this starting to fill up. And remember, after week 14, right, which is mid-November, you can only do one. But up until then, you can attempt it twice, okay? So just know that if that is something that you want to take advantage of, the sooner you get on the technical interview schedule, the better, because there's 2 sections of this class and a section of my data programming class that actually is getting on that schedule. So it's not just this class. So that will start to fill, as it already is. Okay, so that's about the technical interview. My point is that now is the time to get on it, a good time to consider it. Here's one thing I've noticed. There's a tendency to over-lean in AI. So I just want to make it clear that in the technical interview, there will be no use of AI. The way the screens are set up, you can't turn it on. And remember, the other thing about the technical interview, and I don't say this to make you nervous, but it is really time limited, so that you need to read the question and fairly quickly. I do give you a couple attempts at getting the query correct, because I show you here's, we talk about what the expected output of the problems that you're writing are. But over-reliance on AI will not help you in a technical interview. That's actually the idea, is for you to demonstrate you have the ability to write basic queries. Okay, so just know that going in. And because the technical interview schedule has been centered around my office hours, if you're needing help from me, of course, reach out and I will do my best to, based on my availability, work with you. This is also why we have a tutor for this class. Remember, Brianna's schedule is listed at the very top. She actually posted something out on Discord yesterday about mock interviews and helping students work through a mock interview to give them that, experience of what that might look like. She's clearly not going to give you the one I'm going to give you, but she will help you understand maybe where you need to get some additional experience. Okay, so my point about this is, right, this is where we're heading. We're going to cover designing, we're going to cover writing, we'll have a few more problem sets, and that will be it for this class. Now is the time to get on the schedule, understand the benefits of scheduling sooner rather than later is important. And now, of course, now is the time, but now you can move on now to the graded part of this work. All right, I'll talk to you later.